Let's see if my stream's up. Oh, it is. Hey, folks. How are we doing tonight? How are we feeling? I might have to pull up the chat somewhere separately. Um, I'm very curious if anyone joins here to chat, whether I'm gonna get Dodgers fans or anybody else, because um, this sucks. Like, we all knew this was coming. This was the inevitable, right? Um, but this just sucks. I quite honestly, I wanted to share my thoughts on it, and I was sitting down to record, and I was just like, I don't know how to be professional about this right now. And so I was like, fuck it, we're just gonna open up a live stream, and if anyone wants to talk about this, then I can talk to people about this. Um, man, this sucks. The best part is that now you get to listen to the entire media tell you how this is great for the sport, and how if you don't like it and you're a fan of like a small market team like the Pirates, you should just stop being a fan of the Pirates. You could just be a Dodgers fan. You have the option. No one's forcing you to be a Pirates fan, so just go root for the Dodgers. Why wouldn't you? Seems like the logical choice. And then you get to have Dodgers fans tell you how they love that they're ruining baseball. It doesn't matter. And how they got tired of being the laughing stocks, for like a decade until Otani showed up. It's crazy they'll talk about how like their system is great and how the Dodgers, develop all these players and what their success that they're having is not due to them throwing a bunch of money around and ridiculous TV deals and deals with Major League Baseball and being able to bend the financial rules. None of that is actually why the Dodgers are successful. They're just a well-run organization. That's why they couldn't win for a decade until Otani came around. Because they're just such a well-run organization. And their prospects constantly work out. And their all-time great pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, could never pitch in the playoffs. But none of that matters. None of that actually matters. The Dodgers are just smarter than everyone else. I hate that shit, man. I hate it. I hate the holier than thou. You actually just don't get it. The Dodgers are just smarter than people, and you just don't understand that. I love this sport. I love this sport to death. And we're not going to have it next year because of one team. You know how much the owners would love a Dodgers three-peat? They're gonna be dying to push that salary cap. And you got fans like me who had absolutely no interest in a salary cap who are now like, fuck it, I don't know what else to say because I don't know how we deal with this. I spoke about this on my Instagram, but it's a player problem as well. No one wants to compete anymore. Nobody wants to compete anymore. It's we could go to LA and get a free ticket to a title. Fuck it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's still a few guys who want to be Yankees for whatever reason. That's about it. Everything else is just let's go to LA, let's win a ring. Skubal was going there in the offseason anyway. It didn't really matter, but the worst fans in North American sports get to spend the entire night reveling in the fact that they are destroying my favorite sport. It's awesome, man. It's good shit. It's good shit. And then I get to hear about how great the Brewers are. And oh, you're complaining about things not being fair. Look at the Brewers record. Look at how good the Brewers are. If only we had some sort of recent history to show us what would happen if the Brewers and Dodgers met up in a playoff series. If only that had happened recently, so we would know if there was actually talent disparity there. Surely that hasn't happened though. This is the least of things right now, but I can't figure out how to properly operate OBS because I'm a fucking idiot. And among other things, I look ugly even if the camera wasn't flipped, but I hate the way my face looks with the camera flipped. Don't worry, I'm not anything to look at even when things are right side around, and I'm very happily taken. I don't know, man. I was mentally prepared for this trade because we knew that's where he was going. But like Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's been a bad enough season as a Met fan, but it would be nice to be able to like be invested in what's going on around the rest of the league. I'm not. I could not care less how any other teams are performing right now because it won't matter. It won't matter in October. I've had for 2 straight years, I've had to see Jeff Passan put out the same article at the start of October where he says this October is the most open postseason ever, and the teams are as even as ever, and there's as much competition as ever. And I don't know if he's lying to himself or he's just lying to his fucking audience because he knows that's not the case. And big shocker, the Dodgers have won those 2 World Series. Thank God Major League Baseball finally got that Yankees-Dodgers World Series that they were begging for a decade. How'd that one turn out? Surely those 2 teams are very competitive. How many people realize that the American League is a joke? Like, that the American League is complete garbage? It's an honest-to-God miracle that the Blue Jays took the Dodgers to 7 games last year. And what's even crazier is that the Blue Jays should have won that series. And I don't mean that in terms of like they deserved to win it more. They didn't. But they should have won that series. They should. And everyone talks about, oh, how do you give up a home run to Miguel Rojas? They lost it in Game 6. You cannot lose a World Series game like that. It's one of the most uh, uh, insulting things. As I can't even imagine having been a Blue Jays fan and you lose on a boneheaded base running decision. But no, none of the teams in the American League stand a shot against LA. Just not a single one of them. I'm speaking emotionally right now, but I think the team that I'm most confident in the American League is the White Sox. The Rays aren't going to be real once it comes to playoff time. The Yankees are never real when it comes to playoff time. Uh, you're going to look me dead in the eye and tell me you think the Texas Rangers could compete with the Los Angeles Dodgers in a World Series? You think that that's something that's going to happen? Who from the NL takes them out? We've already gone over the Brewers, but we can do it again. You think the Cubs and PCA are gonna that could not get past Milwaukee last year? You think that they're gonna compete with the Dodgers in October? You think the Phillies, who got knocked out in one of the most laughable manners possible by the Dodgers last year, you think they're magically going to compete? A team whose manager, GM, and star player are all beefing at the moment? There's no point. There's no point. I haven't even gotten into the fact that this how much this trade fucks up the starting pitching market. Tarek Skubal is arguably the best starting pitcher in baseball. I'm not saying that he is, but he's arguably the best starting pitcher in baseball. And look, I get that the Dodgers system is loaded, uh, quote unquote. But all they could get was the Dodgers number 5, right? Their number 7, who is nearing 28 years old, for the record, and then a guy who's got like a 6 ERA at in A ball this year. And the Mets are currently trying to tell teams that they want top 100 prospects for Freddie Peralta and Clay Holmes. Now that this Skubal deal's done, teams are just going to be like, dude, you're serious? Look at what the Dodgers gave up for Skubal. Do not try and tell me that the Dodgers gave up a fair price. They didn't. They never do. They never have to. Doesn't matter. Hope looks great. I mean, a lot of Dodgers prospects that have looked great, and then they don't amount to anything. But by golly, it just keeps on happening because they're the smartest team in baseball. And if you say otherwise, you can't accept it. You know how much this you know how much this bothers me? I have watched so little baseball this year. From the second the Dodgers landed Kyle Tucker, I have just been deeply uninterested in this season. And then the Mets went out and played some of the worst baseball known to mankind. I got wrapped up in the Knicks playoff run, and then I got wrapped up in the World Cup, and it was nice. It was nice remembering why I love sports so much. Meanwhile, my favorite sport is dying. I really don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. It sucks. Like, and I'm willing to get whatever comments from Dodgers fans, really anybody. Like, I'm very well aware that I am this sweaty, dorky looking dude talking to nobody at midnight on a Saturday, about how I'm upset at a silly little baseball team. I don't lack self awareness. I do. Everyone does, but I don't lack it to the point that I don't recognize uh, who I am and what I look like and how I present myself. But I can hope you can understand how frustrating it is to watch something that you care about deeply just deteriorate in value and quality. And then while that's happening, have the experts on the sport, uh, and fans of the team ruining the sport tell you how it's all good for the sport and you're stupid for complaining. And if you hate it, just become a fan of the team ruining everything. Hey, Deadshot. I don't know what the dot dot dot's for. If it's because of my comment about self awareness, you're actually well within your rights to say that I lack it. Like, you and you and people who know me personally, have every right to make any criticisms about who I am as a person. I completely respect that. Anybody else who doesn't know me, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Oh, we got 4 people in here. Howdy, folks. How do you guys feel about that? Like, how are you feeling? I'm really curious. Like, again, I think everyone knew this was gonna happen. Like, it was the inevitable. But like, and I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna make the argument that um other teams don't take any blame in the current state of baseball. I want to make it clear that my rant is not defending small market teams who have no interest in competing, because that exists, right? But to say that the Dodgers don't have some kind of advantage in terms of the amount able to spend, the rules that they are able to bend, it's untrue. It's just factually false. And the Brewers take some blame. The Brewers have a great farm system. They could have offered up a package for Skubal, but I would not be shocked if we find out that the Brewers actually did offer a very enticing package for Tarek Skubal, and the Tigers turned it down for the Dodgers package. Like, I think people jumping to say, "Oh, the Brewers could have done more to land him." We don't even have the details yet on how deep Milwaukee's discussions with Detroit got. I think until we have that information, unless I'm missing something, and I will check my phone in a moment just in case there's any updates. Uh, Look, there's an argument to be. I'm responding to your most recent comment, that shot. There's an argument to be made of are dynasties good for sports, and is there a place for dynasties in sports? Um, there's a place for dynasties, 100%, but there's uh how do I put this? You could make the argument that regarding the regular season, the Dodgers were already the best team in baseball for about a decade, and it was about how they weren't able to succeed in October and whether they were ever going to be able to get over that hump, right? And it just seems like they got to the point where they looked at the resources that they had and the things that they could get away with and said, "Fuck it, let's just keep pushing things until we're stopped." And Major League Baseball had no interest in stopping them, and now it's just a foregone conclusion, and I'm sorry, it is, that the Dodgers are going to win the whole thing, year in and year out, until something happens to change the rules, or at the very least make the Dodgers follow the current ones. Yeah, and I hate saying that, man. I hate saying that any legitimate sports league has a foregone conclusion in terms of who's going to win. I don't mind saying foregone conclusions in terms of who's going to lose. Like, it's a foregone conclusion that the Bills are never going to win in the Josh Allen era. You can quote me on that. I'm right. And it's the same that the Yankees are never going to win a World Series in the Aaron Judge era. You notice patterns and you start to recognize these things. But I just who is going to beat the Dodgers in October? Who realistically can beat the Dodgers in October? Tell me, name a team. Name a single team that could beat the Dodgers in October. They didn't they didn't even need a starting pitcher. They really didn't need a starting pitcher. And they got the best guy available because they can. They're interested in Adley Rushman. They arguably have two of the top 10 catchers in baseball. And they saw that Adley Rushman was available and they were like, maybe we go after him. Just for shits and giggles. But that's good for the sport. Your team's just not smart enough. They don't get it. The Dodgers get it. They're smart. Your favorite team, not so smart. I don't think a dynasty has any obligation to end. I think that a dynasty should continue to exist on the basis that they have earned their level of dominance. Like the Patriots had a dynasty because you could have sent me out there at wide receiver and Brady still would have found a way to the Lombardi Trophy. He was just that good. And I really don't feel like speaking highly about Tom Brady right now because he's being a fucking dickhead and just doing saying yes to anything for money. Why the greatest player in NFL history feels like he has to do a fake feud with Logan Paul, I have no idea. Maybe he's just bored being divorced. But the the Patriots had their guy in Tom Brady, and he was just so excellent at not losing. I mean, we talk about, when there's arguments about the greatest athlete ever, Tom Brady was nowhere near the greatest athlete ever. You could comfortably make the argument that talent-wise, Tom Brady wasn't even a top 10 quarterback in NFL history. What Tom Brady was is a player that never lost. It's the same reason that when we have MJ and LeBron discussions, when people talk about MJ, it's why was Michael Jordan the greatest? He didn't lose. 6-0 in the finals, he didn't lose. Now, if you want to be honest about that discussion, you would talk about the first 7 or 8 years of MJ's career, but that's a separate story, right? But the Padres are contenders in the sense that everybody's a contender. They're not particularly good, but things are wide open with the expanded playoffs. And the Astros are not particularly great. They're not the Astros that they were. Every time I hear a Dodgers fan speak, I can't help but hear them as Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. People were mean to me, so I just felt like becoming a piece of shit. Movie sucks, by the way. Joaquin Phoenix is fine. He's better as Arthur Fleck than he is as the Joker, but it's fine. His performance. Movie sucks. Haven't seen the sequel. Don't have a ton of interest. Probably will at some point, but it's just this. Someone was mean to me one, and the Dodgers weren't even in these people talk like they were in the trenches. The Dodgers weren't in the trenches. They were the best team in baseball every year. They just couldn't win in October, and that's nobody else's fault. But don't worry, that brilliant Dodger system that you guys got over there it was really working for you. It was really working for you, and you guys are just smarter than everybody else. I don't know, man. I just don't know. There's no way we get a full season of baseball next year, and that sucks. It just sucks. I can see them settling things before we lose the whole season, but we're not getting a full season of baseball next year. And if you're a Dodgers fan, for the record, I think it's perfectly fine to celebrate getting Skubal, but I don't think it's fine to go around being like, "Yay, we're ruining baseball." I know you're being ironic about it, but it's not funny. The joke's not funny. And of course, you don't care if we lose baseball next year. You'll be off a three-peat. You'll never need to watch baseball the rest of your life. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. And I got to witness this being around Knicks fans. The for a large portion of the early part of my summer. Um, I've said this for a while, and after seeing Knicks fans after their championship, I believe this 100%. Um, I need one in my lifetime. That's it. One Mets championship. That's it. If they win a championship, I will never, ever have to complain or think about the Mets again the rest of my life. I just want to see my favorite team win once. That's it. I told my buddy who's in the chat right now, the only negative, if I say this video might get taken down, The only downside to the Mets winning a World Series is that if the Mets win a World Series, I could probably just kill myself. I could just kill myself and I would have no regrets about it. That's not true. I would have a lot of regrets about it. But at the time that I made that comment originally, probably wouldn't have. That's because all I want is to see my favorite team win a championship. That's it. That's all I want. And these people are not. They. It won't matter when the Dodgers win the World Series this year either. They'll say, "Let's make history. Let's do four." Before they even get their hands on the trophy, after the last pitch of the World Series this year, before the team even gets their hands on the trophy, fans will be on Twitter. Next year, we're gonna go for four. They're not even gonna celebrate it. I don't know, man. See y'all in 2028. You know, I don't really have much more to say right now.